Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. We're going to have some fun today because we are here with my friend Jason Stuart from Palm Springs, LA, all of Southern California. How are you?
I'm thrilled to be on with you, my old friend.
You same here. You and I go way, way back. It may be almost 30 years, but we don't want to,
Yeah,
we don't want to.
we met in San Diego,
Yeah.
and we met at Gay Pride when you and your partner were in a booth, I
Yep.
believe, and I was either the headliner or the host of the Gay Pride somehow.
Oh,
And that's all I remember. And then you guys moved to LA, and we kept in touch and became friends. And
yeah.
yeah,
Yes. And so much has happened between then and now. Look at us now.
yes, definitely.
But no, I've enjoyed because you really, I would just say a lot of it is actually out there online through your Wikipedia page and so forth, as far as your history and a lot of the hard work you put in to kind of get where you're at today. And but you'd started, back with doing a lot of comedy, correct?
No, no, I started as an actor.
Okay.
Started as an actor, and then I started doing comedy afterwards because I couldn't get arrested because I was gay, basically. And then I started doing comedy, and my career started to move and move and move. And then I
Yeah.
couldn't move to the next level, so I came out 30 years ago this
Okay.
year on the
Yeah.
Geraldo Rivera show. Right after some of the white supremacists said hit people on the head, then they said, "Oh, let's do a show about comedians."
Oh, well, how did that go for you?
Honestly, it changed the entire trajectory of my career. It
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
It put me on a path of taking away from being a serious actor and a comedy act where I looked like I was so crazy, like Pee Wee Herman or my good friend, the late Judy Tenuta, God bless her,
Yeah.
and that kind of comedy, character comedy. And I
Mm.
did this with the crazy hair, the crazy jackets. It's just right before you met me. And when I
Yeah.
was on Star Search, I wore a tiger jacket. And my big line was, every time I wear this jacket, I feel like saying, Wilma, let me in.
But even along the way, I mean, I every once in a while I'll be watching TV. I'm like, look, there he is again. And so I've enjoyed the roles that you've played, and but you've been on like Will and Grace as well during that
Well,
heyday.
that's where we're on strike. I mean, all those shows and all the things you do, it's not the same. I mean, 20 years ago, I make less money now on residuals than I did 20 years ago. I make, I think, around one fourth the amount of money. My
Wow.
It's cut in
Wow.
half and then cut in half and then cut in half and then cut in half. So it's pretty sad. I'm lucky because I've had successes and I've saved my money. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of people have not prepared for this. And it's happening not just in the motion picture and television industry, it's happening across the country where the wages don't meet the way inflation is going on to everybody. So it's a really odd time. So I
Yeah.
say to everybody, do not buy all this stuff from these big companies anymore,
Yeah.
and
Well,
keep everything close to your vest.
well, no, you've always. This is also something that's been near and dear to your heart, though, hasn't it? Kind of being a labor activist and standing up for
Very
folks.
much so. I volunteer at the Screen Actors Guild, AFTRA, which is the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. It's
Yeah.
merged together, and I created and started with Duncan Crabtree Island, who is the basically the CEO of SAG-AFTRA now. He has moved his way up, and
Yeah.
I volunteer. I'm the national co-chair of the Screen Actors Guild after LGBTQ committee, along with
Okay.
Tracy Godfrey.
Yeah. Wow.
I've also
Well,
been on the independent film committee, the diversity committee, the comedians committee, the people over 50 committee,
yeah. Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Well, between all that and then I know that as I enjoyed kind of seeing your career as it's changed too, and I know that you've gone from comedy and you started to take on more serious roles as well, right?
Oh yeah. Recently, a couple, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was in a film called The Birth of a Nation, where I
Yeah.
played a white heterosexual Christian plantation owner in 1831. It could happen, and it changed my life because it not only filled uh, and checked boxes for me as an artist of things that I wanted to do to be in a film that's important. It also taught me about generational wealth for Black people in this country,
Yeah.
and that sometimes it's best to sort of shut up and listen,
Yeah.
take off your shoes, put on their shoes, and just listen to people and see and get educated and know that that's their truth and to
Yeah.
believe them.
Yeah. No, that was I know of that film, and that was a heavy one. So that I can imagine how that's changed for you. And but
Oh yeah.
even today, like what are you working on? What are you working on now?
Well, now we just released the second season of my short form series Smothered,
Yeah.
which was up for an Emmy nomination. We were on the list, which
Really?
was quite a feat. We were one of 12, myself and Mitch Hara, who's my co-star, co-producer, co-creator,
Yeah.
co-writer
Yeah.
of Smothered, which is a series about these two guys who have been in a relationship for 30 years, who hate each other but can't afford to get divorced. It's on Reverie and Amazon and YouTube, and you can go to smotheredtv.com and you can watch the show. It's a short form series.
Yeah.
There's two seasons, and we have everybody on it, from Amanda Burst from Married with Children to Jay Rodriguez from Queer Eye.
But that also kind of puts me in the direction where I'm thinking, out of all the folks that all the actors and so forth, I think you're special in that sense, where you really know how to master not just social media, but the technology and streaming and so forth. And because especially on the distribution of this, you are everywhere with this film.
Well, it's a short form TV series. That's why we have everybody go to the website, honestly, because it's hard to find, because there's 20. We're on Reverie, who is our main distributor, put us on 20 different platforms.
Yeah.
So, but it's best to go to Reverie or go to smotheredtv.com.
Yes,
Rich and I were just talking this morning and saying, God, it's so hard for people to find us, because there's other things there's that terrible reality series that's crazy. Okay. And then there's also Smothered Onions and Who Was Smothered That Week. And if we probably had to do it over again, we'd probably pick a different name.
But when you're posting on it, I mean, you really go the extra mile when you share, you tag all the right folks, and not only are you structurally, like, you're doing all the right stuff, but you also show interest in others and people, not just that are in the industry and so forth, but you really, like, you're engaged. And I think that makes all the difference.
Well, I always do. I've always done that, whether we were answering emails, answering phone calls in my office, sending signed pictures. When my autobiography came out a couple of years ago, I would put it out. It's called "Shut Up, I'm Talking," and I would put this up on, I guess, Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and I'd say, hey, if you want an autographed copy, just hit me up in an IM and send me your address, and I'll do that. And I didn't realize that people wanted autographed copies so bad. I thought, God, that's over. Everybody just wants to do photograph, But no, I was wrong. So I sell them independently, and I also sell them through Amazon and also through the company CCB Publishing that published it.
Are you on Threads as well?
No, I just heard about that yesterday. It's brand new.
You do?
I don't know
it's brand new. You'll have to download it, and it'll transport. It'll take your Instagram and set you up with an account. And then when I post this, I'll be able to tag you on Threads as well.
Oh dear God! Not another thing. Oh my God! Every day. Oh, there's so much to check every morning.
They really took off out of that gate, because they have it was within a week they had over 100 million people sign up. So that's why I think it's getting a lot of attention.
Is sort of like
it's a copy of Twitter. I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, but it's a copy of Twitter that Meta.
Everything is a copy of Facebook. Is a copy of MySpace is a copy. It's a copy of it's all derivative.
Yeah, very derivative. And so they spun off, but they've done a nice job of integrating it with Instagram in such a way that they've got a user base, and they're tapping into a lot of folks that have been frustrated with Twitter, more on the political side and the trolley side. So you're getting a lot of activity there. So
but it's owned by Meta, right? It's owned by Meta.
Yeah, so exactly.
So they don't want people to go back to Facebook. They want to start a new thing.
That's true. Well, in order to be able to duplicate Twitter, they had to create a new thing, because it's just too different. It seems similar on the on the outside looking in on the basics, but in general, it's very different. And so I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah. I wish there was one thing that we can do that doesn't involve a limitation of how many fans you can have, a limitation of what photos you can put on, how many, or videos, or the kind of videos, or the kind of photos, or
I know. It's all those little guidelines that keep me busy every day.
Yes.
But besides some other, what else are you working on?
I've got I'm still doing stand up. I've got shows coming up. I'm really cool. Lisa Pitch is this wonderful promoter out in the wine area of Sonoma, and I'm doing the Laugh Cellar, which is, I think she calls comedy on the crush pad. So where they crush grapes, I'm going to be doing stand up outside in this big venue with all these people on July 22nd, and then
Oh,
I'm going to be doing a show with Wendy Liebman
okay.
at Flappers Comedy Club on August 9th.
Yeah.
She does a thing called Locally Grown Comedy Show, and I'm doing a show with her. And then on August 11th, I will be the headliner at the Agua Caliente in Cathedral City, right next to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And then in Texas, I'm doing two shows on the 22nd and 23rd. It's called Addicted to Comedy,
Wow.
and it has a 12-step kind of
Yeah.
lean, but anybody can come.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing I'm headlining one of the headliners at Gay Pride, October 7th. It's called Pride Under the Pines in Idlewild,
Oh,
California.
yes, yes. I know
That's
of
for
that event.
now.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's for now that you can watch all that. But I'd love to see people. Please say hello and tell me that, they saw me on I Love Gay Pride. I would
Yeah.
love that on the Pink Network or the
Yeah.
Pink.
No, we'll make sure to, we'll make sure we post this to tag you everywhere, and they'll have links, and they'll
All
be
my
able to find
tags and
you.
all my stuff is on my website. But all you have to do is go to jasonstuart.com, Stuart. And I have my own QR code. Here it, here it is.
Scan from this video. You
Can
leave.
they do that?
Oh, maybe.
I
Maybe the
don't
most
know.
creative ones.
This is my is it upside down? Does it even matter?
It doesn't even really matter.
But I mean, I have my own QR code. Isn't that neat? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, who am I?
Yeah, I know. You leave no stone unturned.
Well, I'm not on Thread.
Yes, yet is the key
And I'm
word.
not on Patriot.
Well, we can keep that one on the side for a while. Let's
Oh
let's
God.
that
God.
let's not jump on True Social. You'll find yourself just spending your entire day trolling back on these people. I
Oh,
know.
it's just awful.
I know. But more
Awful.
importantly, yeah, I think this is fantastic that you're keeping yourself out there and busy, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again the next time I'm out in LA.
Where do you live now?
I moved to New York, and now I live just outside New York.
I
So
was
next time,
just in New York 2 weeks ago.
well, next time
I
when you're
was
out here,
doing Gotham Comedy Club, and I also went to see Sean Hayes
oh
in
yeah, yeah,
Goodnight Oscar. He was unrecognizable.
wow,
And what I
wow,
love is that this is probably an interesting thing for you to have on this interview, is that I think that for some reason, and I've had this almost my whole career, you're saying all these different things that I do. People have always underestimated me.
mm,
And the good positive side of that is that you surprise people all the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
But the bad part of it is it's always a hike, it's always a jaunt, it's always a sprint to see how you can convince people that
yeah.
you are not a one-trick pony. And I'm not a one-trick pony.
I hear that. I've heard that also said that people, especially because we're all in our 50s. Let's just, I'll keep that loose in that sense. And I've heard from others in my age group that they get tired of having to always sing for their dinner. And I
Yeah.
get that you don't always have to feel like you have to reprove yourself over and over again.
Well, it happens a lot to gay people or
Yeah, yeah,
LGBTQ people, as we're saying now. It happens to us because they see that our stereotype, or us being allowed to sit at the table. We were going to have a very big casting panel at Outfest, which we had to cancel because of the strike, because Warner Brothers is sponsoring it.
yeah,
But the idea was that there is still a bias in casting, whereas somebody like Tom Hanks can play a pilot, a gay person, a Southerner, a con artist, a child. He could play a romantic lead, a villain. He can play any part at all
yeah, yeah.
because he's white, he's heterosexual appearing, and he's Christian appearing. But anybody else that isn't that has to prove that they can play another part.
Yeah.
They'll look at somebody and the first thing they'll say, "Oh no, she can't do that."
Hmm. Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett can't play anything that's dramatic.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just light fluff, you know. And they'll and look what she did a million years ago with The Burning Bed. She was one of the first people to turn that around.
Yeah.
And there's so many other actors that have done that. Not all of us have had the career of, Meryl Streep or
Mm.
my favorite actor, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. It's all baby steps. It gets better, but it's not a smooth process. It's very bumpy along the way.
I think people have to open their minds up and not feel like, oh, hey, you're attacking me. It's not attacking you. We're just educating you as we educated ourselves. I had to educate myself. 10 or 12 years ago, I said, hey, it's time for me to really stop thinking of myself as just a funny gay guy or a prissy manager of a hotel or a maitre d' or something, and say, hey, I can play a plantation owner in 1831. I can play a private eye who's into spy work. I can play a detective who's grouchy. I can play all different kinds of parts. I can play someone's dad who's dying of cancer. I can play a lot of different things. I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm not just one person. And then go back to doing my series where I play this, crazy gay guy.
Yeah, still doing what you love.
Well, I love creating. And Mitch Hara had asked me and said, hey, do you want to do something together? And we've been talking about it for years. And we had this funny repartee between the two of us. And we created this series, and we did 2 seasons. The first season, I won the Indie Series Award for Best Actor in a Comedy.
Wow, nice.
And then,
No, it's on my radar now. I'm going to talk. My husband and I, we figure out what we watch together in the evening. So I'm going to ask him if he wants to put this on our list.
Please. Oh, you have to ask him? Now I have to jump through another hoop? Oh my God.
Oh, yes. He is in charge when it comes to what we choose to watch, but he does welcome my input.
Oh my God, he's in charge. What does he do? What is he a dictator?
He keeps me in line.
Oh, okay. Well,
I love it. Well, mostly like I said, I'm really looking forward to being able to reconnect with you again in the real world. And but mostly I'm glad you were able to take a few moments of your time and kind of share a bit of your story here with our audience.
Thank you so much. And I'll hit you up next time I'm in New York.
I would like that. Thanks again now.
Thank you.
Feels good, so good.